the back, and every member of the ICT division at the University of Limpopo. I respect all of you who are here today, and I really hope that we'll share a few thoughts today that will really maybe challenge you. I think it's important that we challenge each other in our lives. I respect Mr. Mafeda as well. He's such an amazing man and quite a hospitable man. So I want to share with you 3 thoughts today, and I hope they really help you become a better version of yourself in your lifetime. You know, there's a statement that I always say wherever I go or in such engagements as this one, that you need to live with an awareness or an understanding that you are not here as a decoration on earth, which is why you're not placed in a museum or some art gallery. If you were meant to be an ornament, you should not be here. You are here as an instrument of change. What we'll remember about you is not necessarily how long you lived in this world. It will be how much of an impact you made in your lifetime. We don't measure your value or your significance in life by the number of years you lived. None of you is here to waste oxygen. You are here to make a meaningful contribution in your lifetime. That is why so many young people die in their 20s, but we bury them in their 80s because they don't use their potential. So I want to speak to you today based on a particular verse that I read. They mentioned something about being the man of God. So sometimes I read the Bible. So there's a verse in Proverbs 22, verse 29, and this is what it says. Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before great men or before kings. He will not stand before unknown people. You see, there are people who seek attention, and there are people who command attention. There are people who demand attention, and there are people who deserve attention. There are people who are distinguished by a particular quality, and there are people who spend much of their life doing a lot of nothing. There is a particular quality that earns you respect. There is a particular quality that places value on you. And that quality enables you to understand your worth as a person. And when you understand your worth, you don't give discounts because you know your value. You are respected as a person because of the level of value you place on yourself. You don't treat yourself like a boy and expect us to treat you like a man. You don't treat yourself like a girl and expect us to treat you like a queen. No. Whatever level of value you place on yourself, you'll be treated by people based on that level of value you place on you. So we are instructed, do you see a man who excels in his work? The first thing that I want you to know is the power of observation. People don't know how to observe. So we are told, observe a man who excels in his work. Observation teaches you to pay attention. Some of us are so broke we can't even afford to pay attention. But we are told, pay attention to a man who excels in his work. Do you see a man who excels? Observe such a man. Do you see a Lionel Messi? Do you see a Cristiano Ronaldo? Observe such a man. And you'll see something different about this man. So we don't know if this man excels in his own work or he's an employee to somebody else. We don't even know his name, but we know a particular quality that this man possesses. And he's described on the basis of that quality and not on the basis of where he comes from. You see, it's not where you come from, it's who you become. So this man that is presented to us is a man that is chosen to preach even with his lips closed. Because there's a particular quality that distinguishes him from the rest. And that quality is what is known as excellence. Excellence means you match your practice with your potential. You don't function beneath the level of gifting or the level of ability or the level of grace that you've been given. You give your very best every single day, and you don't compete with anybody else. You compete with yourself because you want to do better than you did yesterday. So we are told, observe a man. Consider a man who excels in his work. He will teach you a lot of things. We don't know how to observe. We don't know how to look at a person and learn principles from such people. Someone was talking about discipline here. When you observe an excellent man, you will see that he's a disciplined man. You will see that he's a focused man. You will see that he respects time. You will see that he does not just align with anybody. Observe a man who excels in his work. Observe a man who commits himself to his work and he does it the best way he can. That's the power of observation. Number two, this man is characterized or distinguished by a pursuit of excellence. The vision of this university is to be a leading African university, focused on the developmental needs of its communities, epitomizing academic excellence and innovativeness. I don't know if you knew that, but that's your vision. The vision pulls out an aspect or a quality called academic excellence. And you become the best at what you do when you value and pursue excellence. Your motto is to find solutions for Africa. How will you find solutions for Africa if you don't know the problems that Africa is facing? And one of the problems that Africa faces is the poverty mindset. You are taught so much on how to dance for a salary. You have never been taught on how to become an employer. They hire you to dig your own gold in your own land. And then they go and refine it in their land, and then they come and sell it to you, and then you go around walking like a queen of bling, and yet you own nothing. Observe a man. I know some of you maybe may know the Somalians that are in your villages or areas of residence. You observe such people, what you see there is that these people, or these guys, they run businesses. And when they do that, one of them will come and take a garage in your yard, in your house, or in your corner, and he builds his small business there, and then his friends would come and then he would accommodate them in that business until they make enough for another one to go and start another business in the next street. That's what is happening in your areas. Observe a man. They don't have your PhDs, your masters, or whatever, but then they are taking your money from you. While you are dancing for your salaries, excellent people are sitting counting profits. Mutsipe's children are not sitting in a classroom now learning to memorize the theory of evolution. They don't receive their education in a classroom, they receive it at a dinner table or in the boardroom. They learn how to inherit a legacy, they learn how to be people that are characterized by ownership. You dance for a salary. You work for 30 days, you get paid once, or 31 days and get paid once. You work 365 days or 366 if it's a leap year, and they pay you 12 times. And you spend your entire life celebrating that. But an excellent man gets paid every single day. Excellent people have money working for them, they don't work for money. Excellent people are legacy orientated. They think transgenerationally. They think, how will my kids live when I'm gone? They think about leaving a legacy. You're only thinking about being a trendy person on Facebook. You're not thinking 5 years from now, you are thinking the next meal from now. We are so much focused on consuming that we have not really thought about producing anything in our lifetime. In this room, there have not been many people who have produced anything here. We are thinking only of consuming. We are consumers. So how will we find solutions for Africa if we don't know the problems that Africa is facing? And the first problem is we have not thought as producers, we only think as consumers. Even your Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who created Facebook, is not sitting there thinking of posting a selfie. He's thinking of a way on how you can keep your lifetime posting selfies. Busy but not productive. Busy doing a lot of nothing. There's no time to think about how can I create something that would be transferred to the next generation, that even when your kids come here, they're like, I'm glad Mama lived, because this is what she left behind. Because the only thing you take with you to the grave is the legacy you leave behind. Miles Monroe, I think you know the statement, he says that the richest place on earth is the graveyard. And the reason he says that is because so many people die with their gifts unopened. They die with their books unwritten, their poems unrecited, their ideas unimplemented. We ask you now, what do you think? And you say nothing. But when you are 80, you want to tell us what you think. We don't care. Don't die with your gifts. It should be that when you die, the grave gets disappointed because you are taking nothing of value with you to the grave. Finding solutions for Africa. How many of you have a passport in here? One person has a passport, and yet we are saying we are finding solutions for Africa. How will you do it without passports? We need to start thinking as people, especially African people. We are so good, really, at spending thousands and millions at one another's funeral, but we never empower one another to become the best in life. How can I help you craft your business proposal? How can I help you start your business? No, we don't do that. We want to spend money, sharing alcohol, not ideas. That's us. The last thing about this man is he's placed in a position of greatness. It says he will stand before kings. The people you surround yourself with say a lot about who you are. The friends that you surround yourself with say a lot about who you are. 3 times, at least according to Eleanor Roosevelt, he says, there are small-minded people, there are average-minded people, and there are great-minded people. Small-minded people discuss people. Average-minded people discuss events. But great-minded people discuss ideas. So the people you associate with have got the ability to contribute towards your growth or your deficiency. So you can spend your entire life discussing people with people. You can spend your entire life discussing events, who got married to who, what's happening where, for the rest of your life. Or you can surround yourself with people that will challenge your thinking. People that will help you become the best at what you do. People who will encourage you to become excellent. When you are surrounded by great-minded people, you are exposed to great conversations. And great conversations empower you to become the best thinker in your lifetime. Your world right now is ruled by the ideas of dead people. That's why you're still thinking Einstein, Newton. They're dead, but they're still ruling you because you're not producing anything for yourself. Surround yourself with people that challenge you to become the best in life. Talk about people, talk about their relationships and whatever, but have time to have difficult conversations with people. Test your friends sometime and ask them, friend, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? They might not have anything to offer. Because we have not learned as African people on how to have great conversations, on how to exchange ideas. We have not learned that. And even as we graduate here, we leave this place a little certificated, not educated, because we don't know how to think constructively. We're just good at regurgitating other people's ideas, but not coming up with our own. We don't own any intellectual property, because ours is just to memorize what another man taught or said, but never produce our own. How would you want to be remembered when you finally sleep? There are some names that when we mention, we attach something to them. You think Sanders, you think KFC. Patrice Motsepe, what do you think? Cristiano Ronaldo, you think soccer. Even when he's on the soccer pitch, you cannot tell whether he's working or he's playing, because he has distinguished himself. He has developed his craft to a level of excellence. That's how we win with excellence. How do you want to be remembered? If you were to attend your own memorial service, what would you want to hear people saying about you? Excellence has got the ability to move you from labor to favor. Because this man actually aligns himself with great people, and now he enjoys their favor because you are surrounded by greatness. You enjoy the benefits of being in the presence of greatness. You cannot be a great man and be surrounded by small-minded people. You attract what you are because quality attracts quality. So I just want to close with this. How would you want to be remembered? Would you want to attend your own memorial service, you? And if you would, how would you want them to speak of you? You don't want your obituary to have 3 sentences. You were born, you lived, you died. Add a paragraph at least, a page, a chapter, that you lived, and then we see the evidence of the legacy you left behind. And you do that by being the best at everything or anything that you are gifted in. 7 or 8 spheres in which you can become excellent. Number 1, family. You can be excellent in that aspect. Number 2, you can be effective in education, academic excellence. You can be effective in the area of media, entertainment, politics. You can be effective in those areas. Arts. You can be effective in those things. Whatever sphere of influence you have, give it your very best, so that you can distinguish yourself. And then we will have something to say about you. When you are excellent, you actually even get a chance to speak, because there's a particular quality that distinguishes you from the rest. And excellence really distinguishes the rest from the best. How would you want to be remembered? Assess your associations and see if there is any direction that you guys are taking. Because when you are excellent, you live with a sense of responsibility. You pay attention to what is worth it. You don't just waste your time with people that have no idea what they are doing in life, no matter how much you may love them. But surround yourself with people that would enable you to become the best at what you do. Then we'll read about you. Do you see a man? Do you see a woman who excels in her work? She will not stand before ordinary people. She will stand before great people. When will we quote you? Don't you get tired of quoting other people? When will we quote you? And we'll quote you when you say something worth listening to. How do you want to be remembered? What do you want to be remembered for? It's not where you come from, it's who you become. So when you're going to have food and writing your exams or sitting for your exams, think about it. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how would I want to be remembered? Your life will be assessed in terms of the contribution you made in your lifetime. Not so much of what you said, but how you affected your generation and the generations that came after that. So you should enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you.